What is happening, my people? This is Tim Dodd with the Tim Dodd Show, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to structure a successful sales team in 3 simple steps. Now, you see, most people think, I just need closers. I need great closers, and then my whole world's going to change. But if you bring great closers into a sales organization, into a company that has a bad or a poor or a mediocre sales structure, you're going to get hit or miss results, even with great closers. But on the other side, if you have an excellent sales structure and then you bring in at least good or pretty good sales reps, you can make them great and you can get excellent results from your sales team. I said excellent 3 times. It was a little redundant, but I want to let you know that the structure is so important for your reps to be successful and for your company to be able to scale, whether you're looking to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 500 sales reps. So I'm going to show you those 3 steps right now, but before I do, make sure to subscribe to our channel, click the little bell button so you can get a notification every time we drop a new video. I want to make sure that you have all the resources that you need to sell your company and scale your company. So at Pima, which is my agency, we're working with companies that have sales teams of 1 or 2 guys and gals, all the way up to 300 sales reps. So what I'm going to lay out in these 3 steps is going to work at every point in your business, no matter what the sales team size is, and it's going to scale for you very well. And number 1 is that you need to choose your flow and conversion structure. What is a flow and a conversion structure? So flow means the prospective buyers that are interested in your business, whether from outreach, doing like a LinkedIn outreach, an email outreach, a cold call outreach, or inbound leads coming in from Google or Facebook or SEO or wherever, referrals. That is your flow. That is prospective buyers, potential buyers that are flowing into your business. You have to have a solid structure for flow coming into your business. Conversion, on the other hand, is how you convert those prospective buyers into actual buyers. And there's a lot of confusion here. They think, well, yeah, that's just the sales call. But there's a lot that happens in the conversion process from when a prospect, say, books a call. Maybe there's 3 days in that gap. You need to be setting up automated processes that will warm those prospects up before the call. On top of that, you need to have, after the sales call, there needs to be a structured 365-day follow-up. If you have that structure in place so that your flow, prospective buyers are getting warmed up before the call, you have a very clear script for your sales reps to follow that is very effective, and then you have a very easy to follow 365-day follow-up process for your reps, and you keep them accountable, you're going to have a highly effective flow and conversion structure. Now, here's the thing, and this is where most people get messed up, is they think, I need to hire a closer that can bring in flow and can close the deals. But let me ask you, if you have somebody who can really close deals, or you're trying to train somebody to close deals, and you're training them to bring in leads, those are 2 jobs, which some people can do those 2 jobs. But you have to now understand, if you are going to separate those 2 jobs, you're going to have specialist niche. You're going to allow somebody to specialize in the flow, bringing in the leads, whether that's your marketing manager, or you hire a company like Pima to fill up your sales team's calendar, whatever that is. If you isolate these, now you have a specialist in one, and now you have your closer on the other side who's focused on the actual conversion. So you have a flow specialist, either in-house or you outsource it to a company like Pima, and then you have the closing specialist, and then you have systems, automated systems in between, that when that call is booked, there's an automated system that warms them up before the call. Then that call is had, you have a very specific script for that call, and then after that call, if it does not close, you have a 365-day follow-up. That's how you structure an incredibly powerful flow and conversion system. But if you try to throw a great closer into it and tell them to do everything, or use a pretty good sales rep, if you have any sales rep that has to do everything, you just have to remember they're going to have to master a lot more components, and you might have a great closer that's not good at flow, but they're spending half their day getting flow, and half their day doing closing. You might have somebody who's great at getting flow and they're bad at closing, but they're spending half their day closing. What you want to do in the ideal situation is that you have flow being taken care of by somebody else and then you have conversion being taken care of by somebody else so they can become specialists in their fields, work together, and really close the deals. All right, so step 2, and you're gonna hear some of the same stuff over and over again, but that's because there's always flow. There's key lessons I want you to take away. So if you hear repeats in these steps, that's because they're very important in every part of the process. So step number 2 is that you need to make it easy for them to win, which means you have to have a good, solid training program to onboard them, to let them know how to use all of the resources in your company, your CRM, the script, the training. You have to have ongoing training so that every day they're able to do role plays with the team. Once a week, maybe they're doing a bigger training. You need constant training. You need to make it easy for them to win. There has to be a very clear sales process. Like I said before in step 1, if you have an automated warm-up system that's warming these leads up before the call, it's going to set them up for success to win. You have a very clear script that they can get training on, they can watch you do a live call on, and they can get feedback on their live calls on for that sales call, and then they're empowered with a 365-day follow-up system from there. That's going to make it easy for them to win, because the easier you can make it for them to win and hit their goals, the less talented salesperson you need to fit into that role, which makes your ability to scale your sales team much greater. And of course, if you get a great, crazy closer, like next level person, and you throw them into a killer system like that, they're going to just thrive even more. So now you have a sales system that you can scale with pretty good salespeople and make them excellent. And when you get a phenomenal closer in there, they're just going to take it to a whole nother level that they would have never been able to do it without it. Now, I want you to imagine you just ordered like one of those big TV stands off of IKEA. Maybe you shop at IKEA, maybe you don't. But at IKEA, you have to put all the furniture together, and you get a good deal on it because you put all the furniture together. Well, imagine you've got this big, 200-piece TV stand with lights and cool functioning drawers and all this stuff, and you buy that, and it shows up to your house and you don't have any tools, and you don't have any instructions. 0 instructions. You can't Google, you can't do any of that stuff. How likely do you think you would be to successfully put that stand together? Now, some of you might say, well, I'm a handyman, I could put it together. Okay, even if you're a handyman, do you think that you could put together that IKEA TV stand, the 200-piece IKEA TV stand, quicker with the instructions and with tools that it came with, or without the tools and without the instructions? You just had to figure everything out. Well, of course, most people wouldn't even be able to put the stand together without the instructions. They have trouble with the instructions, let alone without the instructions. And then even people that are really good craftsmen, they would have trouble putting that stand together. That is what this sales role is like. There's a lot of moving parts with the CRM and the calls and the script and then knowing your product, being able to communicate your product. There's so many moving parts to the sales process that you're maybe so familiar with your product and the sales process that it seems simple, but there's a lot of moving parts, and they're trying to get comfortable with that. The more clear and clarity you have on your instructions, on your processes, on your documentation, the easier it is for them to put that together, and the quicker they will put together that IKEA sales TV stand, as it were. So you want to make it easy for them to win. Step 3 is to set clear KPIs. If you don't know what those are, I am putting together some more videos. By the time you watch this, they're probably already out. But sales KPIs are so important. You have sales KPIs based around behavior, meaning how many calls were made, how many proposals were sent, how many emails were sent out, how many text messages. Those are just actions that they're taking. And then you have result KPIs. How many deals closed? What was the total volume of deals that closed? What was the revenue generated? What was the profit? You need to have very clear sales KPIs and 90-day expectations where you lay out, hey, in 90 days, this is going to be the expected KPIs for you to hit, and on a daily basis to hit the result KPIs, the revenue KPIs. Here are the action KPIs you have to do. This many calls per day, this many emails, and you need to track that on a daily basis. Now, if they're following their result, are the action KPIs, then if they're doing those and you've created good action KPIs, you can know even if they're a little bit late with their results, they'll have the highest possibility of getting to the result KPIs. But either way, you do need to lay out a 90-day plan where you say, hey, here's the results you're expected to hit in 90 days. If you can't hit those, we will part ways as friends, but we really need people here that can hit those results. Then you track it on a daily basis. If they're down or under on one, you coach them so that they can stay on track. You want to, again, make it as easy as possible for them to succeed, but you do need to have those clear 90 days. Here's what has to happen in 90 days for this relationship to work. Otherwise, if you're not keeping them accountable, if you don't have those sales KPIs, you're going to go 6 months down the road, you're going to get irritated, you're going to agitate at them, and these guys can't close, they're burning my time. When really, you should have made that decision in 90 days, and they should have known exactly what their expectations were. And if you do that and you're hiring, like we always talk about, at least 2 sales reps at a time, more if you can, now you're going to have clear KPIs, and you're going to be able to gauge between 2 sales reps or 4 sales reps or 10 sales reps, how each one of them is comparing, and that little competitive drive inside of them is going to make them hit those actions, and then ultimately results even harder than without that competition. So make sure you have clear 90 days. Make sure you're hiring at least a couple salespeople at a time so that you can have the comparative KPIs, which is very, very powerful for you to be able to compare and contrast, but also the competition between, the colleagues. So now you have the 3 steps that you need to build a successful sales team, or rather structure a successful sales team so you can plug good or decent or even great closers into the sales team and really blow it up. But how do you now fill up their calendars? We didn't really cover that in this video, so I do have a free training for you. You can download. It's going to be on a link at the end of this video that's going to show you how we are filling up sales teams' calendars in bulk, in mass, hundreds if not thousands, depending on what they need. And on top of that, once those appointments get booked, say a call's booked on Monday, for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we actually will warm those up. So make sure to stay to the end and click on that free training, get your free guide. It's 100% free, our gift to you. Now, also, if you haven't liked, comment, and subscribe, make sure to comment down below. Any questions you have, any clarity you need, I'm happy to help. Any points that you think that were good, or areas that you thought I missed in building the sales structure, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to also, when you subscribe, to hit that bell, because we're dropping videos on a near daily basis. And to every one of the first 5 commenters below, we do enter them to win one of our sales mastery course, which is like a $2,500 course, and I don't want you missing out on that. Again, this is Tim Dodd with the Tim Dodd Show, and there's a link right there below that you can click on and get your free guide to learn how to scale up your leads and appointments and all that stuff. So Tim Dodd, let's build these companies. Let's take your business to the next level. See you soon.